What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm gonna go over the parts list and how much money I've put into my Toyota Tacoma. I made a video about this a while back, but since then, of course, I have more mods. That means more money, and the bill for my project has, of course, gone up. So if you're new to the channel, this is my 2017 Toyota Tacoma TRD Offroad. I've had it just over 3 years now. It has 35,000 miles on it. Every time I do a new mod or a new part, it gets that much more exciting, and I absolutely love this truck. It is here to stay, and I can't wait for the future mods that I have for this build. So I'm gonna start up front with my bulletproof fabricating grille. This was about $380, and I really like the look of it. Now, I've had tons of comments for me to get the TRD Pro grille. That's an awesome grille. It's really cool to see on a stock truck, but I feel like everyone has that grille now. So I wanted to stand out, be a little bit different, and kind of have that stockish look at the same time. So I really love this grille. There's no lettering on it. It's just very clean and simple. You can also get this grille for the Tacomas that have the front sensor as well. That's another thing that I get a common question about. Does this fit with front sensors? It does. I just don't have front sensors. Next up, I'm going to talk about my Tacoma Beast headlights. These were just under $400, and I love the look of them. We have the running DRL that goes around the entire outside. They are projector beam, but you can get LED bulbs for them. I just haven't got around to do that yet, but I love the look of these, especially over the stock ones. They have a much darker appearance, which matches the rest of my truck really nicely, and I just love them. I love the turn signal that goes on the top section of it too. Just makes it look really cool. So next up, along with that, is the new fog lights that I have. These are from 6K LED, and again, I love the look of them. They're LEDs, of course, very bright. I can use them on back roads. They're way brighter than the halogen high beams in my headlights. These fog lights were about $100, and I love the look of them. They fit in the housings really nicely. So next up, let's talk about my bumper. This was kind of something that was a little bit controversial when I added these stage 2 pieces. So I have the Highline Series hybrid bumper in the center here, and then I have these Slimline stage 2 bumper end pieces attached to this bumper. I got both of these from Tacoma Beast as well, and you can tell that they're not compatible, but I spent about 10 hours to make them fit, and it's not a true fitment like it was if I had the Slimline hybrid series bumper, but I like it. It's a next step. You can see the front tires there, just gives it a little bit more of an aggressive look, but at some point I will be upgrading to a different style hybrid bumper, or just cut even more and go to a full-size bumper. So the middle section of this bumper was about $650, and then the end pieces were about $350. So you're almost getting into the territory of a full-size bumper without carrying the weight of a full-size bumper. So this is right under 100 pounds or so. Some of the full-size can get up to 150. And then I have two more pieces up front. I have the LED light bar that's just up underneath my bumper here. That is from Diode Dynamics, and that light bar was about $250. This is another common question that I get. Does this bull bar on my bumper hinder the use of using that LED light bar? And the answer is yes and no. If you have the light bar aimed too high up, it will actually bounce off of this bull bar and straight up to the trees. But if you have it angled just right, there is enough clearance for the light to shine through, and it is extremely bright and functional with the cutout in that bumper. And then last up front is my ditch lights. Those are extremely useful. They were about $60. They're from 6K LED as well. I've used those off-road, and I have about 180 degrees of visibility on the front half of the truck, which is awesome. I want to do some more camping adventures and nighttime adventures as well, and be able to use them a little bit more. Now we're going to go ahead and take a look up underneath the hood of my Tacoma. Now I don't have a supercharger or any engine enhancements or anything like that. I do, however, have the AFE cold air intake. This is about $470. No, it doesn't really add any power, maybe a little bit in the higher RPM range, but boy, does it make this V6 sound really good. You can hear it going down the road, combined with my exhaust, which I'll go over later in this video, of course. It's just something that I like, and it sounds really good. You're not buying it for power, you're mainly buying it for the sound. I also have a built-in air compressor. This is the ARB air compressor that I got from Tacoma Beast as well. It was about $300, and this is one of the most useful things that I have on my truck. I love that I have it built in. I can go off-road, I can air down, I can fill my tires back up and drive home. And then last up is these hood struts. They were about $100 from Tacoma Beast. I got these ones finished off in carbon fiber just to give it a little bit cooler of a look, and it matches some of the pieces I have on the interior. And that is one feature that I love. Instead of having the hood prop, you can just go up underneath the hood, open it right up, and that's a cool feature to have. I also wanted to mention too that this truck was built in my driveway. So I've done all of these mods myself, minus mountain balance on the tires, which I'll talk about here soon. So if you're interested in any of these modifications, I have detailed installations along with sound clips for the exhaust, things like that on the channel. So you can check out the Toyota Tacoma playlist on our channel. I'll also have some down in the description below. So moving on to the side profile of the truck now, what makes this a lifted truck, of course, is the bigger lift, the wheels, and the tires. So starting off with my Old Man Emu lift kit. This was one of the best bang for the buck kits that I think you can get. Spec'd out, mine was about $1,400. They range from $800 to $1,600, $1,700, just depending on the different components that you get for the kit. Mine is spec'd out with the SPC upper control arms. I have a 1/4 inch top mounted spacer up front, or top plate spacer, which gave me another 1/2 inch of lift up front. So I'm running 3.5 inches up front, right around there, and about 3 inches in the rear. It's a great kit. I've loved it. It's performed incredibly well off-road, and it's great for on-road because, let's face it, my truck is on the road 95% of the time, but for that time that I'm off-road, it's definitely a great kit. It rides a little bit stiff, but it has loosened up a little bit with the bumpers that I've put on the truck. I got the heavy springs to accommodate for the bumpers. And then for the wheels and tires, these are the RTX wheels. They're 17x9 with a 0 offset, and I really love them. I recently painted them to give them that two-tone design, and I think it's a great touch in my opinion. The black was just kind of blending in too much, so I wanted to spice it up just a little bit. Those are about $600, and then I recently installed the full 34-inch Nitto Ridge grapplers. It's the second set for this truck, and they're great tires. They perform well on-road and off-road. These were about $1,250 or so. These 34s do not rub at all because I have the cab mount chop, which that costs $25 for the plates, and then I have a video doing that in the garage as well, which was a fun project, and I will probably have a little bit more trimming to do at some point because I want to poke these tires out just a little bit more as well. So it's a great setup. I love how it looks. We're gonna move on to the rock sliders now, which was actually the very first modification that I ever did to this truck. And I did that because I wanted to take this truck off-road, see how it performs stock, and to be able to compare it to where it is now. Those were about $450 and the best investment that I've ever put into this truck. I've actually used these rock sliders, so they have some abuse on them. And as you can tell, the underside of my truck is in perfect condition because they take the brunt of the force. They're also drilled into the frame, so these suckers are not going anywhere. Also on the side of the truck, I have the TRD Offroad badge, kind of to mimic the TRD Pro. Those were about $30. You can see I have vinyl on the back of the truck, so I took off all the decals, basically debadged the truck and put those there. I think it's a much nicer look. I also have the Mezzo custom style turn signals in the side mirrors. Those were about $100. I got those from Tacoma Beast as well. And you can see I wrapped the mirrors in vinyl. So over the course of 3 years, I've probably bought maybe around $200, $250 worth of vinyl. The vinyl that you currently see on the truck, maybe closer to 80 to 100. I had to get some pretty large sheets in order to do that. But this is by far the coolest design, I think. I've had 3 different vinyl wraps projects that I've done on the truck, and I think this is the coolest. It works really well with the rear bumper, which I'll show you here soon. And I also did the lower section of the tailgate along with the Tacoma inlays, and those are about $40, I think, just to give it a really cool look and of course break up the black and the blue. I also have window tint. This is something that is crucial, I think, on any vehicle really, just to block the heat and better protect you from the sun. This is the XPEL XR Plus film that I had Sunstoppers install, and I'm running around 26% on the back 2 windows there, or the front and the back window, and then 70% on the windshield. I love the look of it. It matches really well. It keeps you well protected from the sun. It blocks all the heat, and I love that. You don't get hot during the summer. So 2 more things for the side of my truck. One is the rain guards, which were about $40. They're the EGR brand. I really like them. They're more functional in the summertime, so you can crack the windows, and then they also help if it's gonna rain or something and you have your windows down, it's not going to get in. So they make it look a little bit cooler, but I actually use them during the summertime, so they are functional. And then next up is my stock fender flares. I actually painted these with like an undercoating, and to be honest, I don't really like that. That was the undercoating that I used for my cab mount chop, and so I can't remember the exact price of that, but let's say it was about $8 to $10 a can for that. So I will end up repainting those just to make them look a little bit cooler. At some point I do want to do some larger fenders and completely replace all of them, kind of wide body the truck, which is another next step for the truck. Before I go ahead and move on to the rear of my Tacoma now, I do have a tonneau cover for the bed. This was about $220. It's the Gator soft top tri-folding cover. It's very easy to take on and off. So I love having that dry storage when I need it and taking it off to put in motorcycles, dirt bikes, whatever it may be when I don't need it. So I love the functionality of that. And now the first thing that I want to start off in the rear of the truck is my Relentless Fabrication high clearance rear bumper. This is another one of the best mods that I've put on this truck. It makes departure angles that much better. And from previous experience when I put a dent in the side of my truck off-roading, having to cut that off and install this, it's been the coolest thing ever. I love going off-road because of the amount of clearance that I have on this truck. For a 3-inch lift and everything that I've done to it, I can pretty much go anywhere. Maybe not as much as my Wrangler can, but with this bumper here, it's incredible. I love it. I have the tow hitch, so I have used this to tow. It's very durable. I can hook up a boat to it, and I love it. It makes the truck look that much cooler. That was about $1,600. It was going to cost almost half that, maybe $800 or $900 just to get the dent fixed. So I figured, why not just go ahead, do it right this time, and get the high clearance rear bumper. Coolest mod ever. I absolutely love it. I also have bumper lights. Those were about $300. I haven't used them too much off-roading. I haven't gone off-road at night in a bit. And then I also installed the pop and lock. You can't see that, of course, because it's inside the tailgate, but that was about $30. I got all the actuators and everything from Amazon, so it saved me a good bit of money, and it still works. I've had it on for months now, and I love using it. I can lock and unlock the truck from the key fob, and it locks and unlocks the tailgate. Very cool feature to have. And then two more things up underneath. I have the MBRP high tuck exhaust, which actually dumps right in front of the rear axle. This was about $270. Now, I've had a lot of questions about this exhaust. This is the loudest exhaust I would want for a daily driver and the loudest exhaust I would want for a pickup truck. So there's not really a drone, but you can hear it. And so if you do get an exhaust like this, just know that it is a little bit loud. It's comfortable. I can still listen to the radio and have a normal conversation and everything like that, but it is on the louder side. I do have a different style exhaust coming very soon, and so you'll see that, of course, if you subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned for that. But I love it. It's out of the way. I won't hit it off-roading, so it's really nice how it's tucked up under there nicely. And then the last thing that I have on this truck, which you can't see, is the Nitro re-gears. I have 529s in my Tacoma. I love the re-gearing. It definitely helps out on the highway. My truck uses 5th and 6th gear a lot more than it used to, so it's a lot more comfortable. I think it's something that's definitely necessary. I haven't seen too many benefits off-roading yet, but definitely on-road driving has improved greatly. Moving on to the interior of my Tacoma, I haven't really done too much on the inside, but one thing that I'm curious about, I've seen a lot of comments on this, upgrading my stereo system for the Tacoma. Would you guys like to see a project on doing that? I've seen that a lot. You know, how's the bass in your truck? How's your audio system? And personally, I'm fine with the stock one, but could it be better? Could I improve it? Comment down below and let me know. But aside from that, all I've done, the main thing that you can see is painting the dash piece here. That's a common question that I get. Where did I get this? Well, I painted the stock one. It was pretty easy in my opinion. It was about $25 worth of paint. I'll have that video down below if you'd like to see how to do that. You'll also notice I have carbon fiber on the air vents here. It's also surrounding all the window controls, the door handles, and it's in the back seats. That kit was about $60 or so. I have these foam inserts for the cup holders. They're also in the door panels too, and I believe those were about $60. And then you'll also notice I have the blue rings surrounding the air vents, which were about $20, and the Tacoma lettering in the glove box. So it's a really cool, inexpensive way just to spice up the interior of your truck. And then down below for $25, I have the LED footlights. I wired those into my wireless charging button so I can turn them on and off at nighttime. So if you haven't been adding that up, I have around $13,000 in mods on my Toyota Tacoma. I really don't have any labor to add to that bill because, like I said earlier, I've done pretty much everything in the driveway or the garage, and with the help of some friends and my brother, of course. This has been a fun build over the last 3 years. I absolutely love it. It's my second Tacoma. I would highly recommend one. They are so much fun. I love them off-road. It's just a great truck in my opinion. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, give it a huge thumbs up. Consider smashing that subscribe button if you want to stay up to date on our daily uploads. And I'll see you guys in the next video.